Hi there folks, it's me, Safari Sam, and today we're making another Vivarium. That's right, another Vivarium build. That's what you people like, right? What? What do you mean you people is problematic language? I just mean the viewers. It's the same amount of syllables, Jerry, who cares? Whatever. Anyhow, today we are making a forever home for our snails. First up, we got one of these zoo meds. This is kind of a starter set for arboreal arthropods. I really like that they market these for arthropods. A lot of terrariums will market them for reptiles, even if they're not good for reptiles. Like, you could probably keep maybe like a juvenile morning gecko in here, like a hatchling. The small stuff's for invertebrates. I got a little easy pop-off top here. And this is very affordable. I paid a little under $50 for it. And it is a starter set, so it comes with a bunch of stuff. It did not come with this Mopani wood. This I bought separately. I just thought it had a really good look to it, almost like a horn. I thought that was really cool. So I picked it up. And we are going to use it in this build, because it's the perfect size to fit in there, as you just saw. There's our shameful receipt. We also got inside the stuff it did come with, like this wooden hide. I guess it's decent. Like, there's nothing wrong with it other than the shape. It looks so manufactured, but it is genuine wood. I think this might work well as something in my crested gecko nursery, maybe. Perhaps that's what I'll use it for. I don't see myself getting a tarantula anytime soon. I'm trying to do different spiders, stuff that not everybody's doing, you know, like our false black widow and our giant crevice weaver. Anyhow, it also comes with an insects and invertebrates guide. I've looked at this guide before. It's basically just a giant ad. It's a giant ad. That's fine. That's whatever. It doesn't really super matter. We got Zoomed Creature Soil, which I have bought a lot of in the past. It's good stuff. I won't be using this bag today because I have my own substrate I'm going to be using. And last but not least, this quote-unquote naturalistic flora, which is odd because it couldn't look more plastic, to be honest. I mean, it's fine. It's fine for stuff to climb on, but it's not really what I want. It would fit in there all right, and I have another one of these as well. This just isn't what I want to use. Sorry folks. So here we have the terrarium. Lots of extra silicone. I'm gonna have to scrape that off. I don't think I can get much more off. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. That's one issue I have with these Zoomeds. They go absolutely silly with the silicone, and it can be kind of uggy. It can be kind of uggy. It's even like on the outside there's gooey bits, but it's real prevalent in the corners. You can see a ton in that back corner. But hey, it's not as ugly as the spot I'm actually filming this video in, so first thing we're going to need is the special blend of snail substrate that we used in our snail nursery creation video, which won't come out of the cup, which is always nice and fun. So we have about 1 inch of substrate here. The snails we're going to have are burrowers. They're going to like another inch or so. So I am probably just going to take the rest of all of the snail substrate we have and just put it on in there. But before that, I have this. It is a shot of snail substrate, but what's in here? Springtails. Yes, we're going to have springtails to help control the mold because it's going to be pretty moist in there. Now, if you're new to being a bioactive boy, you might not know what springtails are, but they're tiny little bugs, typically white, not always, that exist in a variety of biomes, who, and this is true, eat mold. They control mold, they help eat waste that your pets secrete. They're a cleanup crew, and oftentimes a cleanup crew for a cleanup crew, so they will help keep the enclosure clean and safe for your animals, which is great. Now that is a deep substrate. That's pretty good. We also put a little bit of this charcoal in there, and this will help create some good microbiomes, not microbiomes, I guess microbiomes, sure, my little micro habitats in there that will help the springtails prosper. Really, truly it will. So that's good. Now that we have a springtail enclosure, let's turn it into a snail enclosure. Now, we did say we were going to put this mopani wood in there, so let's get to doing that. I want this to be a climbing feature. I'm going to put the smooth side up. So I think I'll take the big nub right here and I'll kind of work it into the corner. Oh yeah, that works out. Put a little substrate over and around it to make sure that it's a nice little natural looking part of the environment. I think it looks pretty ace, don't you? Really looking like it's naturally blending in there. Now mini snails are detritivores. They act as a cleanup crew. A lot of people don't keep snails to keep snails. A lot of people keep snails to keep them as cleanup crews or as feeders. And I will be breeding these and selling them as feeders, but also selling them as pets. And I want to make this look just so really cool, you know? That's why we're going to have bones. And not just any bones, antlers. That's right, antlers are bones. These are from white-tailed deer that we scavenged from the natural habitat. You can see these are actually really cool because they've clearly been chewed on. There's evidence of predation from coyotes, maybe stray dogs, all over these bones we got from the woods. Don't worry, we've had these for a long time. They've long since been cleaned. They look a little murky. That's just because they've been in bins with fossils and stuff, so there's a lot of dirt on them. But they've been boiled and the mites are gone. Any potential mites and parasites and stuff, I promise you that. There's just a little actual dirt on them, but they've been sterilized. But yeah, we've got a nice base of an antler here and a nice pointy piece of an antler. So I was thinking maybe the pointy piece could stick up, kind of point outwards like this towards you folk. That looks really nice from this angle. Don't mind the fedora, it's for a cosplay. Anyhow, we've got this piece of bone as well. I really like where I've positioned the antler here. It kind of makes an arch, you know, triangles are very strong structures. It's not siliconed together or anything. I might want to take it out and reuse it sometime. But it is kind of held in place by substrate here, and it can create like a bridge, a little archway, a lot of fun for the snails. I totally forgot to show this bit in the snail nursery creating video. So for that nursery we also added springtails and some carbon, but we also have cuttlebone. You can often find this sold at expos or in the bird aisle at your local pet store. Birds are big fans, but also you want this for invertebrates, because most invertebrates have exoskeletons or big ass shells, and our guys are going to have big ass shells. So, you know, I'm going to cut some pieces up. I probably should have done this before putting in all the antlers and everything, but you know how I am. A poor planner and a poor data, poor husband, poor father, poor divorcee. I'm divorced. So I mixed all the little chunks of cuttlebone into the substrate. I also shaved a lot of it into powder to help make it easier. So they got chunks that they can cling onto, and they also have powder that they can kind of slurp up when moving around. Gastropod does mean stomach foot after all, so basically anything they walk on there, sucking up. Just like prom queen in a rigged election. Anyhow, the next thing we're going to put in here is some detritus. And that detritus is leaf litter. We have a big bag of leaf litter from the last expo we went to, which is very fun. You can check out our expo hauls on Patreon. They're Patreon exclusive videos. Very, very fun. Very, very ice. Now, let's get this puppy emptied into there. Well, not emptied, but a good bit's going in. Now we've got a pretty good amount of detritus in there. Those dead leaves look great. I thought about sticking some in the front to kind of hide the substrate, but I want to be able to see it when they're buried in it, maybe they'll be buried against the wall and I can, see them easily. That would be really nice. But it's pretty good. I put big full leaves on the bottom and then crushed up leaves to put on top, like animals have been moving across the upper layer, messing it up, and then the lower layers kind of being protected. I wanted to kind of mimic that. Also, we have kind of a pile in the back here, which is kind of a little hide that they can go to if they want. I think that's very fun. But it's still missing something. After all, what is a terrarium full of bones if it doesn't have a skull? This is a genuine, complete weasel skull. Very, very cool. We actually did a very recent video, I believe, our last video on this weasel skull, and asked if we should use it in a terrarium. And I asked that knowing full well I was going to make this. I'm a little stinker. But it is pretty cool. It has the jaw and everything. If you want to learn more about how the weasel skull functions and its amazing bite force and needly teeths, and even a little about its nostril, definitely check out that video. But we're going to put it right here in front. I think it looks really good, but I kind of wish it was dirtier. I mean, this is a skull that's been professionally cleaned and stuff, and these others are bones I just gathered and boiled. They still have a lot of the dirt and the scratches, and it almost looks too perfect. I kind of want to dirty it up a little, in a weird way. But perhaps that's for another time. Right now, we actually need to do something that I've been forgetting to do in videos. I've been going back and doing it after the fact, but I definitely want to show myself doing it because it's a tradition that I want to keep up. I get excited and I forget to do it, but this time it's extra important because it's another source of calcium. These are microfossils from a Florida riverbed, and yes, they are limestone. What is limestone chock full of? Calcium. But I think it's really cool and respectful to add fossils, in some regard, to nearly every vivarium we make. Sorry for using vivarium and terrarium interchangeably. I know that's not great. But I like to sprinkle these in there, honouring the animals of the past by making them part of the enclosures of the animals of today. So we'll just kind of sprinkle some of this all over the leaf litter, and of course make sure that these are okay to use with your animals. I've seen people give limestone blocks to snails and whatnot, so we should be pretty kosher. There we go. And that also makes it look more natural, like the leaves have really been tread on and are really actually out in nature. Put some around the skull there. Maybe you'll dirty it up a little eye. Very, very nice. Very brown. I'm used to much darker brown substrate. This is very light brown, and it might take some getting used to be completely honest. But I do think that we'll get used to it. That's actually a little more than I usually put in, but I do hear that it is good for their shells. So that's what I'll be doing. And of course, what's a vivarium without a little moss? Sphagnum or otherwise. This is sphagnum moss. I'm not going to put much in here. They don't need a ton of it. But I am going to hang it at the end of the mapani wood. And there it is, the sphagnum moss. Pretty good. That will help keep humidity going in an enclosure that has a screen top. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this enclosure. Part of me wishes maybe the substrate was darker or that I'd added a little more greenery, but I think that would maybe have hurt the theme. I guess there could have been a whole reclaiming nature thing, but as of now, I'm pretty happy with it. Once I add the snails and everything, that might change. I might decide to add more, subtract some, who knows. I do know that the springtails are going to be needed because this puppy will need to be moist, and I will need to make sure that moisture gets to that substrate. Even though there's a lot of leaf litter, don't worry, water can run down the leaves, and there are many exposed spots where water can get in as well. that is it for our snail terrarium. Now, what should we name it? I was thinking of the Boneyard, but that sounds so pedestrian, right? Sounds like something that everybody would name it. I'm thinking the Calcium Cave. Yeah, that's it. The Calcium Cave, home of our future garden snails. And I can't wait. So, that is it, everyone. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. If you want to buy some of the supplies that came in this that we aren't going to use, we might throw those in our physical store. We also sell fossils in our physical store. We sell vials of the microfossils. If you would like to buy a box of the microfossils or something, let us know. We can put them on eBay if you would like. That is it. Thank you all once again, and subscribe so that you can eventually see all of our cool snails and our snail breeding project. That's it. Thank you all. See you all next time. Bye for now.